I've been trying to make this since I left Portugal. There's a thing that happens when you come back from somewhere that changed you. It's not homesickness. You live here. It's a reach for a flavor that isn't on the menu.
This is a pastel de nata. If you had one in Lisbon, you know exactly why I'm standing in a strip mall in South Florida, holding one like it's about to transport me somewhere. Let's find out. When I think about Portugal, certain things come back in a specific order. The Sinja Verga, a bottle I found in a liquor store that turned out to be made by monks in a monastery I still haven't visited. The white port and tonic at Coqui in Vila Nova de Gaia. The Ginginha, a bar so small you stand outside on the sidewalk and drink. And the Sangria. Now I know what you're thinking. Sangria, it's not a Portuguese thing exclusively, but Portuguese Sangria, it's its own thing. It's deeper, darker, less sweet, richer. Something in it tastes like the country itself, and I've not been able to find it. Not for the lack of trying. Papa Figo's Douro Tinto. Same valley as port wine. I kept looking. They had Ginginha here at Total Wine. So I had to order what I couldn't find. Aguardente, Licor Beirão. The aguardente, I'm drinking neat. The Licor Beirão goes in the sangria. I found pastéis de nata. I tried to find the sangria too. Every place that had it on the menu. And they were all fine. Good sangria even. But there's something in the Portuguese version that none of them had. A weight, a depth, a kind of fortified quality that makes it feel like it was built to last the afternoon. What I kept finding here was made for a beach bar, which we're in South Florida, so that makes sense. Here's the thing about aguardente. It's a grape brandy, distilled from Portuguese wine grapes. It's what you call a spirit in its raw form, unaged, clear, strong. But what happens when you add aguardente to fermenting red wine before all the sugar converts to alcohol? You get port. The fermentation stops, the sugar stays. The wine is transformed, fortified. Ruby red port is what happens when aguardente meets wine and becomes something neither of them could be alone. So I'm not using aguardente in this sangria. I'm using what aguardente becomes. That's right. Ruby red port is going in this pitcher. And I think it's going to be the thing that makes this the best sangria you've ever made. Portugal in a pitcher. The base is Papa Figo's Douro Tinto. Douro, same valley as port wine. That's not an accident. Keep that in mind. Four ounces of Cockburns Ruby port, also from the Douro. The wine and the port are neighbors. One stopped fermenting on its own, the other was stopped deliberately. Someone poured aguardente while it was still fermenting. Killed the yeast, locked the sugar, same grapes, different destiny. Both in this pitcher now. 2 ounces of Licor Beirão. 13 herbs, the warmth underneath the fruit. Without it, this is just sangria. With it, it tastes like a country.
1 fresh orange, squeezed. The juice works its way in a way a slice just can't. Simple syrup, 1/2 ounce, not to sweeten it, to pull everything together.
Citrus, cinnamon, mint, apple, a handful of raspberries for color, for tartness. For the way they look floating in something this dark. And now waits 2 hours minimum. Overnight is better. When you're ready to serve, ice first, then sparkling water into the pitcher. About 4 ounces, just enough to lift it without drowning what you built. Stir once, gently. That's it. That's the thing I've been looking for since I walked out of the Lisbon airport with a carry-on that was slightly over the liquid limit and a head full of places I hadn't seen yet. It's not Portugal, I know that, but it's a version of it that you can make on a balcony in South Florida on a Tuesday afternoon. And that feels like something. The Licor Beirão is doing exactly what it did in Lisbon. The port is doing exactly what the aguardente was always meant to do. And this glass tastes like a country that I'm already planning to go back to. Next time, we keep hunting. There's still a monastery I haven't visited, a hillside I haven't stood on, and a comment section that has not let me forget either one. When the first episode came out, the comment section lit up. 175 comments, most of them from Portugal. Someone told me the Sangria choir boys had a sip before performing. Someone said Portugal is one gigantic zip file, and I've only unzipped the top folder. One comment got 107 likes. 5 words. You missed Moscatel de Setúbal. They're right. Then, someone left a comment at the 2-minute mark. Meloso, medronho, and 1 spoon of honey in a little glass, mixed, not stirred. Cera de mochique, water, and fire water. Mixed, not stirred. Mixed, not shaken, not stirred. Whoever you are, I'll see you in Mochique.
Florida distilled, 1 glass at a time, where the spirit leads, the story falls.